Got a tight game going right now. We're at halftime, getting ready for the second half.
Ready, Simon?
The Atlanta Greyhounds 26-19 leaders over the Capital Express. Let's check in with Andrew Harriman, see what he thinks about the second half.
Just down there on the touchline, I heard both teams in the huddle. They talk about more intensity for the second half. They realize that the tempo slowed down. I think we'll see a more charged second half here in Arizona.
Let's have a go at it, shall we?
Okay, we're ready.
We'll begin with a kickoff from the Atlantic Greyhounds. Al Deacon. And they allow it.
Yes.
They got away with one there because the ball didn't go quite the 10 yards they need.
Sure did.
Down they go with George Miller, the hooker. I tell you what, Miller's got an incredible work rate for a guy who has to scrummage so often. Got some great speed.
Sorry, Yellow, your advantage here. Losing your feet coming over that ball. There's the mark.
It's interesting watching the rolls. I guess if we were watching American football, we would see if you had a seven-a-side equivalent, you'd see some of the faster cornerbacks take on the position of being a.
There's a penalty there for trying to kill the ball with the blue player going over the top. Just got the replay.
Just can't do that. Results in a kick. Election of the Atlanta Greyhounds to run it. Bishop gets the ball in the hands of Freeman. Anthony with the touchline nearby. And instead, a try after a little chip kick by Brian Collins.
There's the intensity we're talking about. Atlantic have come out full of power and passion, and that's 5 more points for them.
Anthony Freeman trying to beat the guy in the corner. Realizes he can't do it. Keeps the ball alive in play. Little kick ahead by Brian Collins. Well, a few things went right for them, but ends up in a score.
Just inside the line. Right here. That's
Lovely little bounce. And it results in the try. So the Greyhounds extend their lead to 31 points, 19. 5 for the try and the 2-point conversion. This is a very difficult kick now being attempted by Graham Bishop. Just inside the touchline on the 25-yard line. However, difficult as it may be, he has accomplished it.
Beautiful kick by Graham Bishop. Beautiful kick. Quality kick from the quality player.
2 more points for the Atlanta Greyhounds, 31-19. There's been more of a dramatic impact, too. You know, just a year ago, Rugby Union Worldwide adopted a 5-point try. You start to see it now. It really adds up in the 7-a-side, a game that really emphasizes the try as opposed to the penalty. So the score already, here we are early in the third period, 33-19.
This is a bit of surprise, too, Dave. I would think that most people who know these two teams probably would have thought that the Capital was a better team. So I think we're seeing a bit of an upset here.
Wait for me.
All right, well, the Capital Express on the short end of a 33-19 score. We're in the third period.
Wait for me. Wait for me.
Dave Sitton, Emil Cygnus, and Andrew Harriman on board. Hope you're enjoying this. The World Rugby Football League coming your way real soon. Okay, they get the ball away. Do the Express, and that Express trying to get the ball outside to Wilkinson. The pass incomplete. We'll have a line out to the Atlantic Greyhounds.
Atlantic making a lot of breaks, or Capital rather making a lot of breaks, but failing to finish them. The Atlantic, on the other hand, has a better record of finishing off their breaks.
I think there we've had a Fijian passing the ball to one of the homegrown American players. Earlier we had a score there by an American player who made up by New Zealander. Now that's got to be great for the game of rugby.
Well, it's interesting, you know, Andrew, as you well know, you can fall out of bed in any country and start playing this game. The same rules apply everywhere. And this is one of the rules of rugby. It's speed, and right now it's Tim Ford finally dragged down, but it's good yardage picked up by the Atlantic Greyhounds. They'll give a little now to try to get some more. Long bomb that time thrown to George Miller. He can't handle it. A nice little 50-yard pass. There's some gridiron teams would like to see somebody throw like that. And a little gap there. That's all he needed. Brian Gallagher on the way, and they won't even bother contesting that one now. He's gone, and he'll score the try directly under the post.
Brian Gallagher has shown some great athleticism today, and that was a real nice move that he put on. Brian Gallagher is from the Maryland Exiles, one of their better players. Played for them when they won the national championship a couple of years ago. There's Brian. Couldn't tell who that was falling down trying to tackle him when he made the move.
I think it was Keith McLean of the Philadelphia Whitemarsh side, and that's a prominent team here in the United States. And he just couldn't keep his feet, and as a result, try scored by Gallagher and the Capital Express, but that makes the game a tad bit closer. 33-24, and this conversion will make it to 33-26. And that's our score at this point.
Great for the league to have people like Brian, homegrown American players, scoring tries of supreme international quality. I think that's what the World Rugby Football League is bringing to us. Quality players from the States and from all over the world here in Arizona. It's wonderful to see.
And starting next year, Andrew, it could be just about anywhere. North America, the Pacific Rim, and Europe as well.
Play like this, we look forward to it.
Are you going to come out of retirement to play this?
Absolutely not. It's too hard.
Like midsummer training anymore.
Yellow choice. Scrum center.
All right. Ball did not go the required 10 yards. They let the advantage run, but no advantage. So we'll have a scrummage at the center of the field.
Very interesting in games of this sort of quality. We talked about the tempo earlier, Dave, and the tempo is slightly lower because they're two quality sides who know each other's play. It's like a chess game right now. Not less interesting, even more interesting than normal. A chess game, and let's see how it goes.
Use the analogy of a chess game where the contestants can actually move, breathe, and tackle, as the case here. The Greyhounds just over the halfway line inside the territory of the Capital Express. They try to clean this up. Instead, it's chipped ahead by Dan Lyle. And that puts the Greyhounds at a great disadvantage. And what a kick that turned out to be. Self line out, which is legal. Nicely executed by Bishop. Pass it out. And here come the Greyhounds again.
This is exciting stuff here, Dave.
Bishop took the ball off the forward pass, and they'll bring it back.
When the ball goes out of bounds, you don't have to throw it into the lineup. You can throw it in quickly, and that's exactly what Bishop did to himself. Look at this tackle. It's coming up here.
Step up. Steady, steady. Hold it, hold it.
See, just on the way in the out-of-bounds area there. In touch, as they say. We go back to the live. Brewington. They slow it down a bit. No knock forward. Knock back, so they continue play. That's a little bit of a variation of American football by Andy Truesdale through the legs. Truesdale again. Truesdale down to the turf, plays it to Wilkinson. Wilkinson with a little bit of room. Goes back inside to Truesdale. Truesdale pulled down by the shirt. And chipped ahead. So a lost opportunity for the Capital Express. But they come again. Brewington through the middle, looking for help. Not there. Instead, into the hands of Dan Kennedy. Kennedy gets it over to Ray. Nice movement. 2-on-1. This puts the ball in the hands of Prince Hill. Can't make it home. Nobody with them either. The fatigue factor setting in now.
And the ball's been alive quite a long time here.
Tackle, tackle.
Imagine going out in the front yard tomorrow, folks, and sprinting 70 yards 4 or 5 times and go pick up your lawnmower. That's about what these guys are doing. It's very, very hard work rate out there.
That's right. It's like climbing up the Rockies with a huge backpack on your hand, having to sprint and having a Fijian jump on your back. It's not easy at all, Dave.
But here's the feature of the World of Rugby Football League code that is so different for rugby union enthusiasts worldwide. That is the concept of free substitutions. Heretofore a no-no in the game. This, the greatest of amateur games worldwide, rugby union. It's the #1 spectator sport of an amateur code, as well as the #1 participant sport of an amateur code. That's right, folks. These guys don't get paid for doing this. The interception, well taken, and score. Steve Bornham.
Second movement immediately. Good try. Thank you.
Steve Bornham with the interception, tackled, got up, and made the try.
Capitals on a move here. Intercepted pass. Steve Burnham steps in. He's got a lot of speed. Breaks George Miller's tackle. Gets up off the ground and scores a try. Good try. Now we got a new game.
Had he been held at the tackle, he would have had to give up the ball. However, he was not.
Thank you.
So that's why Bornham was allowed to score the try, given. And now it's up to Paul Sheehy to try to convert the try. Ooh. A low line drive that just does clear the crossbar. Successful. So our score now, the Atlanta Greyhounds 38 and the Capital Express 26.
Less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute.
Steve Byrne was one of the speed guys in this Capital Express team, and he earned his money there with that score.
I think that particular score was a vindication of the World Rugby Football League rules, because he came on, he was fresh after a very long period of open play, and they were fresh with good action there.
Taken by Ray. Ray plays it to the center of the field. And some space. Here comes the Greyhound. They get it into the hands of the always dangerous Anthony Freeman. Freeman, with 2 men to beat, can't. However, Anthony retains it. Gives it up, gets it back again. Al Deacon. Deacon trying to complete the pass to McLean. McLean picks it up, goes back inside to Collins. Collins over for the try.
Excellent try.
Great score.
There's a lot of work went into that particular score.
That's right, down on the touchline here. It's got all the players and the fans excited.
That's half, Simon. After the kick.
Well, not everybody happy right now.
Scott Stevens looking a bit tired there. Scott is one of the top players in the country. Here's the pass. Not a very good pass by Al Deacon to Keith McLean. Keith McLean keeping the ball alive, feeding it back into Brian Collins.
Come on, let's hurry up. We're going to get a bloody hailstorm in a minute. You're taking your time. Yeah, I know. I'm always right. Well, no, I'm
Deacon again, not the very good pass. You see Keith.
I want to be out of here when it starts raining.
Fixes Petrakis, gives it to Brian Collins.
It's the only game in the world where Collins scores a try and he's going to make the 2 points.
And he does.
And in the third quarter.
Is the end of the third period of play. And we've got a dandy going on here in Tucson, Arizona, between the Atlantic Greyhounds and the Capital Express. We'll continue with the World Rugby Football League right